We give all praises to Yahweh, for Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem Rakwakodash. No honor to the apostles that do well. Salutations to the brothers in the four corners of the earth. Listening to truth and sincerity. We had a prophesied the downfall of America, right? And also we had to wake up the 12 tribes of Israel, Judah all the way down to Issachar, right? So-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, so-called natives. We had to wake them up, not everybody, right? Because Yahweh Shem Shah only died for, this is a quick exhortation, for the nation of Israel. Give me that real quick. For Matthew 1, verse 21. Give me Matthew 2, verse 6. What?
Matthew 1 and 21.
Mm-hmm.
She shall bring forth his son, and thou shalt call his name Yahweh Shai, for he shall save his people from their sins.
Yeah, from their sins. Who's their sins? Right? The laws and statutes, the commandment was given to who? To the nation of Israel. Not to everybody. Right? Not to everybody. Right? So when you go to Amos 3 verse 1, right? When you go to Amos 3 verse 1,
Got it.
you gotta go ahead.
Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, for you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I'll punish you for all your iniquities.
That's right. So who's this talking to? To the children of Israel. Most I said he's going to punish you for your iniquities, the children of Israel. Because the law and statute and commandment was only given to the law and statute. It was given to the nation of Israel, not to everybody else. Give me that real quick. Psalms 147, 19 and 20. It's a quick exhortation. All right? Sometimes people need a refreshing on that, you know? These wacky tacky Christians teach contrary, the opposite of that. They teach that Jesus died for everybody, which Cesar Boje probably did, right? That's another guy, right? But they refer to the man in the Bible, which is not true. Yahweh Shah died only for the nation of Israel, right?
He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
Unto Israel. It ain't say the Moabites, the Ammonites, the Hamites, the Ishmaelites. It ain't say that. It said only to the nation of Israel. Read on.
He had not dealt so with any nation.
The Most High said he don't deal with any nation. It's like telling niggas, yo, I ain't dealing with you, my nigga. I'm dealing with this cat right here, because I know we go way back. I ain't dealing with you. That's what the Lord is saying to the other nations. Yo, I ain't dealing with y'all. Go ahead.
And as for his judgments, they have not known them.
Yep, that's for the judgment of the Most High. They don't have not known them. That's when Israel and Nehemiah, when they was trying to rebuild the temple, the other nations trying to get in and trying to build the temple. Said, nah, man, this got nothing to do with you. This is only to the nation of Israel, man.
That's right.
Get the step in. And we got the orders from Darius. We got the okay. Hey, this don't got nothing to do with you, man. Give me what's that? Acts 5:29 and 30. Right? The Bible's so simple. That's why, sometimes I catch brothers about, this Bible is simple, man. It's not really complicated, right? It's not really a hard thing, man, to understand. But, for the elect it's easy, but, for the 2/3 it's difficult. Go ahead.
Acts 5, verse 29 and 30. Peter and other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than men. The God of our fathers raised up Yahushua, whom you slew and hanged on the tree. Him had Yahweh exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sins. So forgiveness is only for Israel. Right? Israel was given the laws, statutes, and commandments. It was not given to everybody. According to Psalm 47, 19 and 20.
Cool.
These other nations can't be forgiven because the law was not given unto them. So the Lord only came to save Israel. That's why Yahweh died on the cross to save his people from their sins. If it was all people, he would save the world from their sins. He said his people, which is a possessive family.
This Bible is about division, right? This Bible is only for the nation of Israel. Of course, the heathen have it in possession, but it's not to y'all. It's not for so-called Chinese, Japanese, African man, right? It's not for the so-called white man. This Bible is only for the nation of Israel. Right? This is Sirach 17:17. For the division of the nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people. But Israel is the Lord's portion. So Israel is the Lord's portion. Right? Right? So why are these other nations looking at this book? Why y'all reading the book? Why y'all have this book in your possession? Right? Like when we was watching Dexter, you know, Dexter nature is to what? Is to do evil. And he feel good doing evil. He has the urge to what? To kill. Right? Dexter has the urge to kill. Yeah, bro, check that series out, man. And he gets away with it too. He gets away with it. This is his kingdom. Now, the bloodline is going to his son Harrison. He got a son named Harrison. And mind you, they've been separated for 10 years. But Harrison, his son, which is an Edomite, has the urge to kill. Right? He has the urge to kill. Why? Give me Psalms 106. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Psalms 106. I forgot what verse, but maybe 7 or 9.
Psalms 106.
Bear with me for a minute.
Edomites or
He's standing on his right hand. These are Psalms 109, right?
what about
Psalms
that?
109, yeah, sorry.
Oh,
Psalms 109, verse 6. Salah.
Oh, he's the Chronicles, when he stands on his right hand and his
Yeah, that
left.
one too. Yeah, Psalms 109, verse 6.
It says, "Set thou wicked man over him.
Start at 5 there.
They have rewarded me evil for good, and hatred for my love.
Yep, go ahead.
Set thou wicked man over him. Let Satan stand at his right hand."
Yeah, so Satan stand on the white man's right hand, right? That's why it's so normal for Dexter to do what he does, right? Even though he's like a vigilante, right? You know, he has the urge for blood, and that's what it's like. It's therapeutic for him when he makes a kill, right? It's just like it's a norm for him. Now his son got that same trait. Want to kill? He killed an innocent young boy in high school, right? You know, he defended his high school buddy. They became friends. Then all of a sudden, Harrison turned on him, you know, and injured him. And he deemed his friend as crazy. Nah, Harrison, you the one that was crazy. The high school boy was, you know, y'all became buddies. And you just flipped on him just like that? That's crazy. Because Satan stands on your right side. Right? Right? Y'all Edomites are wicked, and it's the spirit that's in y'all. Give me that real quick. Habakkuk 2. Habakkuk 2. I think it's verse 5. It's the spirit in you. It's not about color. It's the spirit in you. Habakkuk 2, verse 4.
Habakkuk 2 verse 4.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yo, the soul which is lifted up is not upright in
Yeah, the soul that's in the so-called white man, it's not upright. It's a wicked soul. That's why the world's in turmoil right now. Right? That's why the United States is in turmoil. That's why Trump is trying to erase the so-called white people history of what they've done to us. Right? Right? The slave trade, they're trying to wipe that out. Jim Crow law, they're trying to wipe that out. But the knowledge is already out there. That's why they're coming with a cyber attack real soon when they're going to shut down the power grids. Right? When they're going to shut down the power grids, they're going to shut down the internet. Right? That's what they're planning to do, shut down the internet. And a lot of these people are going to be lost with that. They're going to be lost without the electronics. Oh, they're going to be so freaking lost, man. Right? Without their cell phones, their iPads, their computers, they're going to be so lost. Right? You know, just like, was I saying how on Walking Dead? They ain't had none of that. They went back to the old ways. Cultivating land, planting cucumbers and tomatoes, right? Sowing dresses from scratch, No
Yeah.
computerized sewing machine. None of that.
Washing in the river.
Yeah, washing in the river. It's going back to the old way, right? When they shut down that internet, right? That's one of and what's that? Bill Gates is trying to block out the sun. That's real demonic. Trying to block out the sun.
Everybody would be in darkness.
Yeah. You know how how the weather takes. The weather affects your emotions. When it's gloomy and cloudy, you kind of depressed. You want to stay in your bed. You don't want to go nowhere, right? You're sad. Your attitude changes. You don't want to be bothered. When it's sunny, let's go outside. Let's go turn up. Come on, let's go. Let's go to barbecue. Let's go to the park. Right? Let's go to the club. You want to do things when the sun is out. And these demonic scientists knows that. And we need what's that? We need We need the sun for the plants to grow, right? We need the sun for numerous of things, man. It controls the water temperature, right? Yeah, but hey, look, you ain't see the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. Right? Hey, man, that was just a quick exhortation, right? Give the mic to brother here.
Good exhortation. Just going to bring out the topic of the chariots today. Haven't covered chariots in a while, so
Chariot.
thought we'll get into it. All right, so I got a little thing to read. I'm gonna read off as well. It says, with understanding that America's Babylon the Great, and consequently that latter ends destruction by way of nuclear fire, we therefore apprehend and recognize the need for deliverance in the one third elect of Israel. The manner and method through which Israel will be saved is by means of the chariots of the Most High, or chariot derives from the Latin karum, in Greek harma, in Hebrew the word for chariot is, it irritates me so much. In Hebrew is marakaba or rakab, which means to roll, ride upon, mount, carry. Yeah, so the ancient day chariots were you had the horse and you had like the wagon behind, right? And that was the chariots back then. The chariots that the scriptures speak of that's going to deliver us is those unidentified objects, right? Or IFO or UFO, right? The Lord is going to come from heaven. He's going to deliver the nation of Israel. And we need deliverance. When this place is being destroyed, it's going to be a rapture. All throughout history and throughout the movies, they always talk about a rapture. But those who are wicked, they're going to be left behind and be destroyed. The Lord has to cleanse this place with fire. It shows you in that movie, what was it, The Knowing, with Nicolas Cage? They were all hugging at the end, and they were all destroyed. None of them were saved. Right? There was no rapture for them because they were wicked. That's what the Lord has to do to these people. He has to destroy them. But for us, there will be deliverance. Well, hopefully, we pray that we're part of that 1/3, right? That we'll be delivered. All right? So, yeah. I got scriptures lined up too.
Yeah, this is the NIV. Yeah, this is 2 James chapter 2. Let's start at...
Is that 2 James?
2 James.
Sorry, 2 Kings. Sorry, so lock it. 2 Kings chapter 2.
I was in the lineup. Verse 12. About the whirlwind.
But,
you can read it now. No, you can read it now.
All right. This is, that makes sense for Israel.
Yeah.
2 Kings chapter 2, this is the NIV version. I start at 9. When they had crossed, Elijah said to Elisha, because Elisha was the understudy of Elijah, right? Tell me, what can I do for you before I am taken from you? Right? Let me inherit a double portion of your spirit, Elisha replied. Right? Man. So let me get a double portion of your spirit. Because Elijah had a powerful spirit. But Elisha got double what Elijah had, right? Verse 10. You have asked a difficult thing, Elijah said. Yet, if you see me when I am taken from you, it will be yours. Otherwise, it would not. As they were walking along and talking together, suddenly a chariot of fire and horses of fire appeared and separated the two of them. And Elijah went up to heaven in a whirlwind. So Elijah didn't get a taste of death. He went straight up there to the third dimension where Yahshua was. Right? He went straight up there.
Yeah.
They didn't even taste death.
Yeah, he went straight up.
Right? Elisha saw this and cried out, my father, the chariots and the horsemen of Israel.
That's right.
Not to everybody. Right? Not to everybody. And Elisha saw him no more. Then he took hold of his garment and tore it in two. So Elisha then picked up Elijah's cloak. Right? So I think some people say that's where Superman come from. Because that was like a cape. Elijah was a powerful brother. So Elijah means the power of God. Right?
Because Eli means God.
Yep. So Elisha then picked up Elijah's cloak that had fallen from him and went back and stood on the bank of Jordan. He took the cloak, today's term, he took the cape that he had fallen from Elijah and struck the water with it, where now is Yahweh, the power of Elijah. I'll repeat that again. Where now is Yahweh, the power of Elijah? He asks. When he struck the water, he divided to the right and to the left, and he crossed over. Man, that's powerful right
Yeah,
here.
that's beautiful.
He took the cape and just hit the water, and the water divided.
It was like a
Man.
It was like a mini Moses moment.
Yeah, many more.
Yeah. Or like Airbender, right? Airbender through the water.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, he was sent straight up with the chariots of Israel. It's kind of like Star Trek. It's like, beat me up, Scotty. You know, they get sent straight into the ship. It's like instant transmission.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that's the moment we're waiting for. And the key word there is Israel. It's not going to be for everybody.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what the exhortation was. So it goes hand in hand, right?
That's right. That's right.
I get Psalm 68, verse 13 and 17.
Psalm 68, right? What's 13 you said?
Yeah, 13 and 17.
13 through 17?
Just 13 and 17.
All right.
Just show.
It said that thou, Psalm 68, verse 13, though ye have leaned among the pots, yet shall ye be as the wings of a dove covered with silver, and her feathers with yellow gold.
Yeah, so those chariots gonna be like decked with silver and gold. We can only imagine, you know, what the chariot actually looks like. I mean, we really only have an idea, right? We know it's gonna be like, I think it's Zephaniah describes it as a row, right, or like a circle, you know. So, and that's what they show you in those sightings, those UFO sightings. Like, they move fast too.
They move fast.
It's like a disc.
Yep.
You know, it's one minute it's there and then 1 minute it's here, right?
It's going to be controlled by your spirit, right? Because those chariots are controlled by the spirit of the angels. That's why it can stop suddenly and just go to a different direction. Unlike these fucking cars out here, you got a problem with your ABS system, you got a problem with fucking carburetor, right? You got to replace the tires after a certain, mileage when you put in the car, right? You need fucking oil change. The chariot, you don't need that. It won't break down at all.
With cars that we had, you can't go from 80 miles to 0 miles per hour, in an instant. You have to slowly go down, because of whiplash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, with the UFOs, they can go going 100 miles per hour and just stop, instantly stop. You can't do that with a car.
That's right.
If you're going to 80, 90 miles per hour, you gotta ease your brakes. You gotta slow down. You gotta slow down your speed. you got to ease into the 10 miles per hour. The Chariots gonna be like stop, go, stop. They show you in movies.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars. Yeah, Transformers.
Even the top jet that Esau has can't do that.
No.
Stop and just go to a different direction.
No.
Stop and go back. Can't do that shit.
No.
So how the hell Esau is going to fight against the angels? A lot of niggas, they get caught up with Independence Day, or what's that? Mars Attack, some shit like that. They get caught up with them. That's fantasy movie, man. That's fantasy. The most I say going to destroy this place in 1 hour. In 1 hour. They ain't gonna be like, oh, next day we gonna get them. Yo, next week we gonna get them. It's 1 hour the most I can destroy this place. Ain't gonna be a continuous battle. Can't even fuck with one chariot. One angel could destroy this place. One angel.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, read verse 17, please.
17. The chariots of Yahweh are 20,000, even thousands of angels. And Yahweh is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place.
Yes, those chariots gonna be operated by angels, right? So that's what it's gonna be operated by. So when that day comes, there's gonna be thousands of chariots in the sky. Probably even more than that. That's why this is also scripture in Revelation. It talks about when we go look down, when destruction is gonna be like a sea of glass. The chariot is probably gonna have the ability to be transparent too. You can just look down and see the destruction going. That's what we're waiting on.
Yeah.
Who knows? The Lord might use the chariots to destroy as well. They might have those beams, sending destruction upon this place. It might be more than a news. I think America is trying to create a dome they can create around America now, so that missiles won't be able to penetrate into America. And they showed you that in The Simpsons when they put a dome. I think it wasn't around the entire country, but it was around the state. They had a dome around it.
Yeah, the dome is the Van Halen dome.
No, but I'm saying they're trying to create a dome around America itself, technology. And they're trying to use technology to create a dome around America so it could be missile.
And that's Simpsons.
Simpsons, yeah.
Springfield was under the dome.
Yeah.
They're trying to block out the damn sun.
Yes, but the Lord's going to intervene anyways, no matter what technology you create. You think about it, any technology that America create, it's different dimensions. That technology is really obsolete. It's really nothing. They probably phase through it. Any technology you create, first of all, the Lord most likely gave you that idea anyways. It's in Micah 2:1. It says when they dream upon it and they put it to light when they wake up. So you're not going to be able to reach the top of the Tower of Babel and go to heaven. The Lord's going to destroy you no matter what you do.
Yeah. We just precept again there. Psalm 68, verse 17. The chariots of Yahweh are 20,000s, even thousands of angels. And Yahweh among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place. Right? So Yahweh he rode deep. You see how Mayweather, he rose deep. And they have a big entourage. Right? These celebrities have a big entourage. Right? But Yahweh has a big entourage. Right? So when Yahweh, right, that we represented him was Yahweh, he had a big crew. Because they wrote the commandment in a fiery laser. Right? I'm gonna prove it to you. And there was a crew out there. Man. It wasn't Moses and just Yahweh. Yahweh had a whole crew. Right? There's Deuteronomy 33, verse 2. And he said, Yahweh came from Sinai and rose up from Seir unto them. He shined forth from Mount Paran, and he came with 10,000s of saints from his right hand with a fiery law for them. Right? So he took a stone and wrote the commandments on a tablet. Nah, he wrote it in a laser. Right? The chariot shoots lasers. Right? So he came with a crew. Yeah, just imagine what Moses was saying.
Yes.
Jeez.
They also had that, it's probably in the lineup. I think I have it in the lineup, but it was that cloud that was following them, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was giving them light by night.
Yes.
And that cloud was giving them it was guiding them by day. So that was probably a chariot right there too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's deep.
I get Revelation 1:7.
Revelation 1:7.
Yeah.
So that technology been around since the beginning of time, right? Yahweh had that technology, right?
Any
Shooting
technology.
lasers.
Yeah, any
I think
technology.
Esau just created they just found out how to shoot lasers, like what, a couple years ago, right? What you say?
All it means is light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. So laser beams. You know, it's also I think lasers used for eye surgery. You know, pretty sure they use it for military weapons as well.
Yep.
Or like the scope. I think some scopes got like laser technology.
I think Star Wars, the villains, their guns were shooting lasers.
Yeah. Both good guys and villains, man. That was usually that's the combat use of Star Wars is lasers. You know. Yeah. Yeah, we do that Revelation 1:7.
Revelation 1:7. Revelation 1:7. Behold, he comes with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, it's a lot.
Yeah, so it's gotta be chariots right there, right? Ain't talking about no regular cloud. We see clouds every day. You know, so how are we gonna know the difference between the clouds we see every day and the clouds the Lord's gonna come with? You know, we you know, humans have seen storms. You know, we've seen storms, we've seen rain clouds. That's gotta be talking about the chariots. It showed you an Independence Day when it was like a big cloud, and then that big mothership just came straight out that cloud. Independence Day. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, even though you know there were aliens and you know they fought against them or whatever, but we know the truth, right? We know where they get these ideas from. You know, we know it's talking about the chariots of Yahweh Shai, and they try to make mockery of it by making it look like it's aliens.
Yeah.
It ain't no aliens. You know, I mean, alien just means stranger anyways. So, you know, when that day comes, technically it would be like aliens to Americans because it's different. They don't know what it is, but we will know, right? We're gonna be bold in that day because we've been preaching about this for years. You know, that's the moment we're waiting for the Lord to come back. So it ain't gonna be like it's something new to us, right?
This is oh, there we go. I'm trying to find that scripture. Angels was created.
Angels.
What's it
Psalm 14.
14? Angels created, was it? Angels was created for vengeance?
So Rocket.
That's a rock, right?
Yes. It's one of the late chapters. Probably check this out.
Sirach 39:28. Yeah.
Sirach 39:28. It said, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which is their fury laid on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. And me and Ip had talked about last week, part of Kentucky got slammed, right? We had created tornadoes, right? Kentucky got slammed, man.
Oh yeah.
Right? By who? By these angels. They were summoned by Yahweh Shem Yahushua. They gave them the go, and the Most High fucked them the rednecks up over there in Kentucky, man. Right?
Yeah.
Right? They said fire and hell and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. There we go.
All right. Yeah, that's right. When he was creating the world, he pretty sure he had different like angels created like different elements and stuff. So when he gives them the permission, you know, gives them the okay, he sends his angels or the angels of death to create like these storms. You know, like the one that hit what you say, Kentucky, right? Missouri, right? So he sent that. You know, tornadoes, whirlwinds.
I'm sure they use the chariots to do it too.
Yeah.
They use the chariots. So the chariots is powerful.
Yeah. Okay, that was good scripture. Read, are you looking for something? Isaiah 66 and 15.
Isaiah 66, verse 15. For behold, Yahweh will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flame of fire.
That's right. Yeah, so you're going to send his chariots for judgment as well. You know, it's going to be it's going to be fire. That's the only way he can cleanse this place. And I believe that he's going to use his chariots as part of that destruction, you know, with the nukes. You know, maybe some will be used to, like, you know, save us, and then some will be used for destruction. We don't know how he's going to do it. You know, we have good ideas. We got the scriptures. All right, so I'm going to read off some of this. Say, to this very day, there are numerous sightings of the chariots all over the world. In fact, they are continuously depicted in various films, literature, and song, being portrayed in movies such as Skyline. Right, Skyline wasn't a great movie, but also it still showed the the chariots.
What's that movie? What's that? Henry Pillar did? Or what? What's her name? What's her name? What's that bitch with a Killer in the Beat? Yeah. What's that movie?
Oh no, nope.
Oh, was it no?
It's no.
Oh no. Wow. It started so well. That movie started so well.
I thought it was great.
It ended so
It
stupid.
was a good movie. It's just the ending was.
I like how the chariots kill those
I think
Edomites.
I should rewatch because the ending had a good meaning to it.
I gotta see that.
It goes over
Maybe
your
I missed
head.
something.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But it was still about the chariot. Though. That's what you
About
want
the
to break it out.
chariot,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was about the
Chariot was
chariot.
beautiful.
But they did a twist to it. The chariot was really like a different being that gave the look of a UFO. But we know what it's talking about. We know that it's talking about the chariots of Israel. Right? Battle of Los Angeles, The Knowing, Independence Day, and etc. And in songs such as the Negro Spiritual, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, during slavery, Israelites sang this song on account of their witnessing the chariots and their expectation of deliverance by them. Bless you.
Double season one.
A band of angels coming after me, coming to carry me home. Furthermore, Moses beheld the chariots when he received the law on Mount Sinai. You get Exodus 19 verse 9. And I said, I believe that's about that chariot that I was following them. Right? That was giving them guidance by day and a light by night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exodus 19, verse 9.
Yeah.
And Yahweh said unto Moses, Lo, I come unto thee in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with thee, and believe thee forever. And Moses told the words of the people unto Yahweh.
I brought the wrong one. I thought that was about the. Okay. This might be a different scripture. I'm looking for that one where he
Fire by night?
yeah,
Oh.
that was
Google it.
Sorry, yeah, Exodus 13 and 21. Yeah, I don't know why that wasn't written. I wasn't there.
Exodus 13, 21. And Yahweh went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, to go by day Yeah, night.
That's powerful right there. So that couldn't be no regular cloud.
He took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from the people. From the people.
From before the people. Yeah.
But anyway, it would have been real
Yeah.
dark if the Most High system was light.
Yeah. There was no light. There was no street lights at the time.
Nah.
There was street
It was
lights.
dark.
Yeah. All they had. Only other source of light they probably had was like candles. You know, but it was that really helped them a lot. Because, you know, they was probably low on resources since there was like, you know, doing all that traveling.
Yeah.
They still disobeyed the Lord, even though He gave them that. You know, He gave them a light by night, you know, and and to go by the day. And they still decided to worship a golden calf. You know, that's why the Lord didn't send the chariots to deliver these people yet.
Remember that movie with Vin Diesel? What is his name? Pitch Black. You know, he was on that planet. Was it Pitch Black? That's
Yeah,
name?
it's already.
And the planet was full of these creatures. Once he put that light on, he see all these creatures like, oh shit. I don't think the animals, I don't think the creatures like the light.
Oh, I see that.
Yeah.
So,
Pitch Black. I love
I
that.
don't think I've ever seen it.
Classic.
That's an old movie.
Yeah, I didn't see
Pitch
that
Black?
again, yo.
Vin Diesel.
I didn't see that
You
again.
know for Riddick too, right? Riddick.
Yeah, Riddick.
it's the same universe.
Just say universe.
Yeah,
Oh,
same universe.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Pitch Black came first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it's the same. So Riddick is the same character. He's in.
Yeah, same
Pretty
character.
much,
Same
yeah.
character. They
Yeah.
changed the name, right?
Yeah, just kind of like First Blood and the next
Oh,
one.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. I didn't know
It was a good one. I like the first one.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind seeing that again. But anyway, yeah. So
Yeah.
for the planet he was on, it was a pitch black planet, and these creatures, you know, they hunters, and the only way you get these creatures away from you is you put some type of light, and they'll run away. All right, but I'm just referring that to the Israelites that wasn't walking in the desert,
Yeah.
right? If Yahweh provided that light, it would have been pitch black.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Let's get 1 Thessalonians 4:17. You working after this, right? You gotta work, right? That's a 50-50. You gotta go out.
1 Thessalonians 4:17.
Yeah.
It said, then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet Yahweh in the air, and so shall we ever be with Yahweh.
That's how Chariots to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chariots.
Meet them in the air. Yeah.
That's the righteous rapture.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We which are alive and remain should be caught up together with him in the clouds. Right, and the verse 16 talks about that trump. The trump of Yahweh. And a movie that kind of shows that is War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise. And before those aliens were about to put destruction, they would sound the trump first. Every war, the trump will be sounded before the war started. That's what the Lord's going to do when He comes back. That says all eyes going to see Him. It's going to be probably a loud trumpet sound before the Lord destroys this place.
Yep.
It's going to be the sound of war, and also the sound of like what's the word? Victory, right? Because that means that we're about to be saved. We can't wait for that.
What was a good movie too was that dude from Jurassic Park? Pritt? Brad Pritt? What's his name from Jurassic
Chris
Park?
Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt, sorry. What's the name of that movie, Zach?
Jurassic World.
Tomorrow's War.
Oh, Tomorrow's War. Yeah,
That's a
that was
bad
good.
movie, yo.
That was good.
That movie I don't mind seeing again too, man. Yeah, Tomorrow's War.
It's the chick from Dexter, Annie McKay.
Anna McKay. Oh, you in there?
Yeah, she's the daughter. I don't know.
Oh, yes.
I don't remember that.
Anna McKay.
Still remember that.
What?
Huh?
Hey, she's in the movie.
Oh, Hannah from Dexter. Yeah.
Yes.
Poison Lady.
Why you saying
Poison
the
Ivy.
last name of McKay?
So,
That's a character.
That's a character name.
Yeah, but like you saying
Her
the
name was
whole.
Hannah McKay.
You say Gus Free, you just say Gus.
You were saying that the whole name to
Well,
get
some
her
people do
attention.
actually say Gus Free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to get
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Poison Ivy. You call her Poison Ivy though. Poisoning people in that show.
I get Psalms 104 and 3. It's not a long lesson. It's kind of there's only so much explanation we can do about the chariots because
Yeah, they exist.
they exist.
Psalms 104, verse 3. Who layeth the beam of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the cloud his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind, who maketh his angel spirit, man, this is what I was looking for. Who maketh his angel spirit, his minister in flaming fire, who laid the foundation of the earth, that it should not be removed forever.
Yeah. He said he make his cloud his chariot. And that's straight to the point right there.
Yeah.
So he make his cloud his chariot. It can't be with the horses and the wagon. It's got to be talking about the UFO right there. You know. He said he laid the beams of his chambers in the water. That's power we can only comprehend so much of it, to be honest. We can only comprehend so much of the Lord's power. In Deuteronomy 29, verse 29, he said the secrets.
Unto him?
Yeah, unto him. Yeah, the secrets.
He revealed to what it does.
Yeah.
Let me get that real quick.
Deuteronomy 29. It says secrets belonging to the Lord. And sometimes you have questions like, damn, who created the Lord? How did he create the universe? But we can only know so much. You gotta stick to the basics. You start asking too much questions, you're gonna start reading books, and you're only gonna have more questions. Then you're gonna be confused nut. So we have to go by what we know.
Deuteronomy 29.
Yeah.
It says, secret things belong unto Yahweh our power, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of his law.
So it's revealed to us the commandments, what commandments we're supposed to keep, how we're supposed to act, the fruits of the Spirit, the destruction of America. We have an understanding of what the UFOs are like, what they may look like. Right? So those things are revealed to us. So if they are revealed to us, the scripture says freely give, freely receive. Or freely receive, freely give, right? So this knowledge was free unto us, so we freely give it unto the people. But again, your knowledge is always going to be limited, That's why we're always learning.
Ecclesiastes 3:11.
Yeah.
He has made everything beautiful in his time. Also, he has set the world in their heart so that no man can find out the work of Yahweh, make it from the beginning to the end.
Wow.
So no matter what technology Esau come with, you can't find his works.
Exactly. It's like the ocean. They only discovered. I'm gonna say discovered. They didn't discover the entire ocean. It's like 75% of it they haven't discovered.
Yeah, Esau just realizing that the world is between 12 and 13,000 years old. They come into that conclusion.
Yeah.
Right? It's not billions and billions of years old. Get the fuck out of here. The world is only about 12 to 13,000 years old.
Yeah.
Right? The world is not that old. Man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. They even if it was that, they're never going to have an exact number. They don't have the technology of time travel, and I'm glad they don't. Imagine if the Edomites had the power of time travel. They'll destroy the universe. That's why the Lord will only give you so much technology. That's why this stuff is fictional. Their technology can only progress so much. And the technology they have they only do evil things. Like how they're trying to progress AI. Why would you want to create an artificial intelligence and further develop it? Wouldn't that cause issues down the road? They show you the movies like Terminator, where Skynet decided to just destroy humans, right? So that's why the Lord has to intervene, because if he doesn't, this world will only go to more chaos. That's why you got destroyed in the time. That's why prophecies are starting to speed up. These tariffs going on. World War III is like up and down. It's up and down, but it's going to get there. The Lord said, surely. He said it would tarry, but surely it would. I'm gonna get the scripture. Yeah, it's Habakkuk 2. It says,
it will tarry, but it will come.
Yeah, it will come. It will surely come, right? So it's tarrying right now. It will surely come. It's like an hourglass. That sand is slowly falling down, but it's at the end of the day, all of it's got to fall at some point.
I think it took about 6,000 to create the earth and living organism. The 7th day, 1,000, it's like 7,000 years. He rested, he chilled.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a day to him. 1,000 years is what? One day to the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. That's
Yeah,
right.
because in the spirit world, everything's go fast.
And me and mine, we was watching this cartoon. I want y'all to watch it. It was really good. It's called Nisha. Anyways, they went into like this different dimension or this different void, and they said one day in that dimension they was in was 1 year on Earth.
Yeah.
You know, and you know they was trying to talk to like the master of that realm. So it's kind of like he was kind of like a god to that realm.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes from the scriptures. 1 day to the Lord is 1,000 years to us is a day to the Lord. It's only a day. You know.
This is Psalms 90, verse 2. Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever thou hast formed the earth and the world, but from everlasting to everlasting thou art power. Right? So he created the earth, and he created different worlds. You know what I'm saying? We got the insect world, we got the planet world.
Yeah.
Right? We got different worlds out there. Right? And like what's that? Invincible, when he cast us up. What's that, the dude, the man, the father? Omni-Man, we cast himself from Earth. He went to a different world.
Yeah, he did.
It was the grasshopper world.
Yeah.
That's a grasshopper world.
I forgot what they were called. They were like an insect race, like grasshopper.
Even Star Trek, when they travel, they go different light year, and they go end up in a different world.
Yeah.
So even Esau knows this, that there's different worlds out there.
Interstellar was a good movie too.
Mm-hmm.
He had one on his planet, and 1 minute on that planet was like 7 years on Earth. So when he got back to his ship, he finally got off that planet. He saw all of the videos he missed from his daughter, how she grew up. She got to like his age. That's crazy how that worked.
Yeah.
You know, that's why the Lord doesn't want us messing with the space right now. Space is, we could barely discover Earth, right? We barely discovered the entirety of Earth. They want to discover space.
That's crazy.
You didn't even discover your own home yet.
You didn't even touch Earth yet.
You know, that's like you barely know all the rooms in your own home, but you want to go to someone else's home and discover. You know, like
That makes sense.
you don't even know the entire ocean yet.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
how you,
different parts of Antarctica you haven't discovered.
yeah,
That's where Khalid, he dwells on the earth, like somewhere in Antarctica.
yeah,
Right? His home is there because man never discovered it.
yeah, yeah.
Right?
There's probably creatures there they haven't seen.
And to get to his chamber, you need a certain crystal, to put down so you can go inside his chambers.
Yeah.
And you see different animals in there.
Yep.
Right?
Beats on
This place on
Beats on
Superman.
Yeah, Superman.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
it's fictitious.
No, it's like
but it's true,
I missed what you was yeah.
Yeah, Superman here. It's fictitious.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying.
I just missed what you were talking about. But yeah, he has this called the what is it called? The Fortress of Solitude. Yeah, his place is called the Fortress of Solitude. So yeah, he flies there. He's just there's no man there.
Because man haven't discovered
man
it.
hasn't discovered it. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he want to go to a different planet. This is back of what you
Yeah,
said.
exactly. Yeah, you want to discover the moon. Why are you trying to go to the moon? You got issues on Earth. You trying to take oil from these other nations. The economy, America's in debt. They want to put money into space exploration. Shouldn't that money go to something else? All the money going into NASA. What about all the homeless? What about all the homes that are uninhabited in America that could go to people that need a home? But just because of the money and because the rich get richer, people are on the streets while there's homes with nobody in them. There's literally houses with nobody in them, just waiting to be sold. Just because everything's about money.
Probably foreclosed homes.
There's this
People
place-
lost their homes.
There's this place in the sea called Point Nemo. It's the most uninhabitable part of the sea. It's where they dump space shuttles.
Oh, wow.
There's not too much life.
Yeah, the most invasive species is Edom.
Crazy.
The most invasive species is Edom. Every species is part of its ecosystem. There's a food chain. They bring something to it. For instance, like bees. Bees, they spread pollen, so plants can grow. What does Esau do? They dump space shuttles, where is it called?
Point Nemo.
In Point Nemo. They dump their trash in the ocean. They dump oil in the ocean. They allow shrimps and crabs to be gathered. You need shrimps and crabs in the ocean and oysters. The most invasive species is those who are rich and only want to get richer. And that's mostly Esau. Right?
This is on Genesis 1, verse 3.
Yep.
And Yahweh said, let there be light, and there was light. And Yahweh saw the light, that it was good. And Yahweh divided the light from the darkness. And Yahweh called the light day, and the darkness he called night. In the evening, in the morning was the first day. So how long it took him to create this? 1,000 years.
Yeah.
But he did it in 1 year. I mean, 1 day. But it was 1,000 for us. Right?
That's
Jump to
right.
verse 9. And Yahweh said, let the water under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. It was so. Right? So this is right here. This is the Pangea. This is when the earth was all together before it broke up. It started separating after the flood. Right? But it was really Pangea, the earth. Right?
Yeah, all the land was on one. All the land was together.
Yeah, the terrain was all as one.
Yeah, if it was still like that, you could drive to Africa. You know, that'd probably be a long drive, but you could drive to China. You could drive anywhere because all the land was condensed. Yeah.
Y'all should have started at 7. And Yahweh made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the water which were above the firmament, and it was so. And Yahweh called the firmament heaven. In the evening, in the morning were the second day. So it took him what? Another 1,000 years for that. So
Yeah.
that's 2,000 years so far. Right? Yep.
Yeah.
1,000 for us, 1 day for the Lord. Amazing, ain't it?
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, different dimensions. Time's gonna work differently. They show you in the movies.
1 day to
1
your
day.
house. That's 1,000 of us. That's wild.
There's a theory that.
So that Darwin theory is straight bullshit. How we started from what's that? From the tadpole.
Yeah.
The tadpole came on land. Then the tadpole started fucking walking and shit.
Yeah, like,
Fuck out of
what?
here. Like, dog, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, Einstein.
We come from monkeys and shit. I think monkeys have a different DNA structure. They have one DNA molecule that's different from
Yeah,
us.
different genetic.
Yeah, so many rats.
Yeah.
Mice as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. But I was gonna say, Einstein's theory that time is relative, right? So the theory is that like different beings we see time linear, like time to us goes forward. It's 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock, but beings like the Lord probably sees time different. You know, it's hard to comprehend. He probably sees everything happening all at once.
Yeah.
You know, but for us, everything feels like it's taking forever. Like, oh, minute by minute, minute by minute. For the Lord, everything's just speeding. You know, he goes to the past, goes to the future. You know.
Yeah, because you know those movies where time just be everywhere and you're kind of trying to comprehend, like, oh, when
Yeah.
did this happen? When did this
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So it's like,
Yeah, because time to us is linear, but time can be seen from a different point of view to an omnipotent being. So the Lord probably doesn't even see it the way we see it. You know.
They say monkeys are closest relative. Most are. He said the dog. Oh, those like,
Yeah.
damn, bitch. You don't see the speed bump?
The dog look like he was trying to catch
Yeah.
himself.
The dog son is like,
Yeah.
fuck, bitch. You don't see me trying to look at these people?
It's like, whoa.
Nah, but for real. If we come from, if we come from monkeys, the Lord must hate monkeys real bad, because the evolution we evolved to intelligent human beings.
Right.
So what about the monkeys and gorillas?
Yeah.
The Lord must hate them.
Right.
That's right. Yeah, no, that's good.
But going back to Yahweh's
What's up, bro? What's up, bro?
time, going back to Yahweh's time, that's why he said it's a light thing to be his servant, because everything goes fast.
Yeah.
But you here on earth like, huh?
I know there's only black women that go through these speed bumps with speed.
it's not that. It's not only for
Damn.
Yeah.
Slow your roll. Speed bumps can mess your car up, man, in
I
time.
know I slow down. Why you just speeding over?
Yeah, so that was the exhortation, beautiful exhortation, the lesson. We were just talking about, the chariots of Israel came. We can't wait for that moment. And so with that, we were praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Shalom, Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. I'll upload it now. So I can